Before we move into the next story, you guys, I just wanted to show you this. I purchased this amazing shirt from the Xbox Gear Shop. Shout out. Look at this merch. Guys, look at this shirt. Do you see what it is? Do you see what it says? What is that, Jose?
I can't see what it says, but it's a needler, right?
It says, "I'm a
Yeah.
Halo simp."
Yeah, that's right, Jose. Dude, this is probably one of the coolest shirts. Hey, guys, if you're on the video or audio podcast, audio listener, please check out the video. We're at about 42 minutes. Guys, go check out this shirt. It is sick. Look at that. Look at that.
It actually
sick
is a really sick
Needler.
shirt.
This is a
All
sick
jokes
shirt,
aside,
you
it's
guys.
pretty
It
cool.
says Needler. This is manufacturer. It gives you some stats and stuff. Got this cool little logo, some Alien Covenant stuff that I don't know what it says. This is a sick shirt. Shout out to the Gear Shop. This is like my new favorite shirt, by the way. Jose, this is like stylish, isn't it? Like this is what those young
No, it
kids
is.
are wearing these
You could
days.
totally wear that to the club.
That's what I'm talking about. So moving in perfectly, 46 minutes. Or what are we at now? We're going to talk about Halo, guys, and this is going to pain me because I've got some beef with Halo today. And speaking of, a good thing that we waited for recording because this news broke on a Friday, and that's my biggest concern is like we're going to miss some Friday news. This saddens me. This is coming from Cloberl again over on Twitter 8 hours ago. Halo Infinite August update. A new big team battle and PvP flight is coming, so I'm excited. Hopefully, I get selected for this. I hope you guys signed up on Halo Waypoint, guys, because you got to get in on this. But then here's the heartbreaking news, and the more I think about it, the more I'm conflicted. But I still think it sucks. Forge and campaign co-op is not coming at the launch of Halo Infinite this winter, whenever the release date is coming. And I think that the release date is going to be announced at Gamescom. Now they can officially go since they have the Call of Duty release date. They have Battlefield's October. Call of Duty's right at the beginning of November. You would think if they're ready, I would do it in September, get this game out early, get everybody playing. Or what's probably more realistic is they're going to do it in November, celebrate the 20-year anniversary of Halo and the Xbox, original Xbox launch, which would mean a more late November launch, and then 3 months after that, potentially Forge and campaign co-op coming later. So I want to share my thoughts first here. Forge, I was never big into Forge. I know a lot of people love Forge and like to create their own maps. That's not my concern. I am genuinely shocked that Halo is coming out without campaign co-op. And when I think of memories with Halo, a lot of it, almost all of it, is playing the campaigns with my friends. At the same time, though, a majority of what we're going to be playing, guys, is going to be the multiplayer. I don't think it's going to affect us too much, all things considered. And I guess I can wait to play it down the road with my brother or with you. But then I was also thinking everything we've seen from the campaign so far, it's really like zeroing in on the Chief being this main hero and it revolving around him and his story with Cortana. And I think they want it to be more of a single player RPG experience, open world. Like we know it's going to be open world. You know, you can go wherever on your map to go to main missions, to go to side missions, explore. And I think that means they want us, maybe as players, to treat it more like a single player experience. And maybe that's why, in addition to maybe they probably have delays due to COVID and not getting it and having it ready, I also think that just the general design of the game, they want it to play more like a single player. Like I said, I think I need to think of this more as like a Skyrim campaign versus a Halo traditional co-op campaign. Again, I do think Halo, most people are going to play the multiplayer, especially since it's free. Some people don't even play the campaign. Some people don't care. I can't wait to play the story. I guess I'd rather play the campaign sooner than have to wait for it be delayed and play it by myself. I mean, I usually always play them by myself, but I also always play them co-op too. So who wants to go first with this news? No co-op at launch. We're going to have to wait at least 3 months until co-op comes to Halo Infinite.
I'll go first if you don't mind, Chance. I heard that news too just before we started recording, and it was actually they were talking that the news actually came from 343. So yeah, I'm sure the guy that originally leaked it was the Twitter guy, but they came forward and said, "Yep, it's," and they did cite specifically it had mostly to do with safety and trying to balance what they could get done before the launch in November. And I'll be honest, we've talked about that a little bit in past shows about like take your time and do it right. And if you have to cut something and you can't move forward, be smart, be thoughtful. If you could delay the game, it's just hard at this point because they've announced it so much. Everyone's so excited. Like, I don't think they can do that at this point.
One thing I just want to add, though, they announced last summer in an article from the head of the studio at the time, I think his name was Chris Lee, saying Halo Infinite's going to launch with campaign co-op. So that's why I can see why a lot of people are going to be mad about this, is because they announced this like last year before it got delayed another year. So that makes me mad. But now Joseph Staten's the main guy there, and he's everything he's done so far. You're right. They've been so transparent. I admire everything that 343 has done. They've announced it, and it takes balls to, first of all, delay the game a year when it was supposed to launch with the Series X, and say this stuff. So you're right, Jose. 343 is being transparent, and I would much rather studios be transparent. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, the other part of that is no one could have predicted what COVID would have brought. I mean, besides the disease itself and shutting down, the things like the chip shortages, like shipping issues, like the fact that graphics cards are selling on the black market for like triple prices and stuff. Like, there's no way people could have predicted that. And so as much as it is upsetting, like, people got to let that go. Secondarily, I agree with D-Wally a little bit that like it is a bummer that we can't on day one do co-op on the campaign. But two things there, to some degree, it could be fun to go back in a couple of months and do like the Spartan mode, like the hardest mode where we've all beaten it. We know the story, but now we're ready to just
legendary, Jose.
Legendary. It could be called Spartan mode in this one. You don't know. It's new. Do that together, I think, is really cool. And then the other part is, like I said, as much as I love the idea, I love playing with you guys. You know that we just don't have that much time, like between everything else to say, like, we're going to get through this whole campaign together. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I played the Ascent by myself. It's like, there's no way we're going to coordinate this. You're right.
So I'm not really that upset about it all. I am excited to play the campaign as much as I am in the multiplayer and get really back into the universe. They also mentioned in that story when I heard about it that they really are getting back into the season pass stuff, and it's going to be an update in one of the passes down the road. And I think they said 3-month passes. I feel like that's what I remember. Don't quote me on that. But I like that lots of material. I like that there'll be hopefully some, obviously, skins and emblems and that kind of stuff. And that is one thing I hope they do keep or bring back, is the way you could design your own emblem. I just loved how creative people got, you know what I'm saying, making kind of their own stuff. I loved that aspect, as stupid as that was. I love that. So those are my thoughts. What about you, Bubble Boy?
Yeah, and because Cordy will get to make all his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle emblems, right? And I'm going to be really positive about this one, and I'm okay with it. And of course, I wanted to be bummed at first, but the more I think about it, I'm like, I can't be too greedy, and it feels like, how do I want to say this? Like, if from the very beginning they had said that, I don't think all of us would have been like shattered by the news or super upset by the news. And maybe there's a real, direct reason for it. Maybe there is something kind of story related, like you were saying, D-Wally, that's like, hey, no, you need to do this the first time by yourself.
Or maybe it's just a server issue. And if it's like we could choose servers for co-op or for multiplayer, I would say multiplayer every time.
Yeah, they got to make a choice.
Oh, yeah, right? And they're like, okay, or we could do both, and people might be getting diced left and right? Like, I have to imagine that they are making the right decision when they say this, or I want to imagine that they are. And I'm just going to be grateful for a really good game that we get when we get it. And because I typically go to bed early, I probably would have missed out on all the fun anyway. So it makes me feel like a lot less FOMO. So
yeah, you're right. And the more I think about it, like, it's even hard even these days for me to get Alan and Snelling to play some multiplayer together. So, problems for us old middle-aged guys with families, co-op, you're right, is becoming less and less of an option, or harder to get the logistics around that. So I guess you're right.
But when it is there, that will be one that I hope to have, that the three of us, and it'll be 4-player co-op probably.
Not
right?
sure.
Or do they?
I like the whole going open world thing. Like, I really think that's a part of it. And I do think they're trying to make this more single, like you said, focus on the chief. So hopefully, you're right. I need to be more positive. I'm excited because from what I played a multiplayer, guys, this is going to be a really good game. Like, I can already tell. I'm disappointed, but you guys are making me, take a step back and have some hindsight on this, and I need to be more positive. I'd rather have a great game, and I think they're going to give us that, and hopefully they'll figure out the co-op. So mostly I just wanted to play with Pony, but Pony's not going to be able to play anyway, so we all know why. So let's move on to the final news item this week, and this one I thought was really interesting because I had never really thought about this until I read this on from another, I don't know, somewhere on Twitter. But basically, here are Xbox's biggest concerns about the platform right now. And I thought this was really good. So we're almost, I think this says 6 months for, yeah. So we're almost at a year at least. Wait. No, that's more than that. We're at 8. We're at like 10 months. So we're almost at the year of when the console came out, basically. We're almost into September. Gosh, that's scary. And I wanted to have a moment here where we can reflect on and talk about what do you think needs to improve with Xbox as a platform, with the console. Some of the ideas in this article, and this is coming from Windows Central. Here are Xbox fans' biggest concerns about the platform right now. Number one, Xbox achievement system. I'd like to talk about some ideas there. Xbox backwards compatibility is the next one. This one right here is personal to me. Xbox game DVR streaming and sharing. Guys, I can't get my DVR to work. First of all, I had to do a hard reset. It was recording just a blank black screen. Then it was a green screen. I had to do hard resets. Then it was recording. And then it was working for like one day. Now I try to record something and I press play and nothing happens. So I'm getting sick of the game DVR. And then the next one was localization and global expansion. This really doesn't affect us too much. I don't feel like we have any problems maybe in other parts of the world. Support for Xbox from Japanese studios. I think they're doing a pretty good job with this. We've got the Yakuza games. We've got a lot of games coming in. So to me, yeah, I wish some people wishes there were more JRPGs, but that's not really an issue for me. And then the last one was third-party storage and memory expansion or hard drive expansion. I feel like with the external hard drive for old games, I've managed my Series X all right. And I think the option, I've seen it on sale for the 1 terabyte expansion card for like $180. I feel like that's reasonable. So guys, do you have any complaints basically or concerns with your Xbox Series console or the platform as a whole right now? Chance, I saw you unmuted, so why don't you go ahead and share yours first?
Yeah, and I won't spend too long because we've talked about it before, but the achievement system, I just feel like it's plateaued, and that I really wish that they would push developers to integrate some of the convenience features that they've tried to make, that they would say developers like, look, you need to do this, because it just doesn't, they don't, hardly any of them track the way they're supposed to. Things like that. I wish the other thing is that it would be a little bit easier or more user-friendly interface to do all the sharing of posts and videos and screenshots that we take and stuff. And that's a super first world problem. Like, it probably takes me 3 minutes to take a screenshot and then get it on my phone, download it to my phone, and then send it to the nerd chat. But I feel like it should just be part of the what do you call it, and the app. I should just be able to go to the Xbox app and, hey, here's all my at least the recent ones, right? Like, I wouldn't expect it to have the entire library, especially if there's videos. But
hey, Chance, at least your DVR is working apparently, and you're getting your screenshots like in clips. Also, we agree there needs to be a 100% like platinum. They need to match that. They need to figure that out. They need to figure out some sort of additional thing saying this person got 100% of the base game. They need to basically copy what PlayStation did and give credit to what PlayStation. PlayStation evolved on achievements because achievements came first. Now Xbox needs to evolve some more. I like the unique percentage ones with the diamond and the special sound or whatever, but I want that 100% completion. They need to match the platinums.
Yeah.
And like I said, guys, my DVR sucks, and it's starting to get frustrating because there are cool moments where I'm like recording.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not recording. So what good is the DVR to me? So that really makes me mad. Those are the two biggest ones that I have. Other than that, the other actual, let me finish, the actual console itself and experience, it's fast, it loads. I haven't had it crash really. Like, as far as hardware is concerned, I feel like it's fantastic. So minus this, I guess that software, the DVR and achievements. So as far as the console, that's been phenomenal. I haven't had any issues. And Chance, go ahead, and then Jose.
We had heard a long, long time ago, and I think of like Dinosaur and some of the F boys about this, that you're not completely bypassing achievements if you get fully into one game, right? And so the F boys play a ton of Warzone, and so their achievement score and their gamer score is just never going to skyrocket, right? But they probably sink more hours than you and I put together into their gaming Diwali, but it's never going to show in that gamer score, which I know is just one tiny little thing. But I don't know what the right answer is, but I've heard they've said they were going to try and do something, and we've heard nothing.
Yeah, but what, like an hourly score? Honestly, we'd all be depressed. We'd be like, oh, God.
Just a way to differentiate, like this person really put in the effort to the multiplayer online, and this person, again, just do a campaign list and a multiplayer list and have them separate and release them separately, like I mentioned earlier. Jose, what are your thoughts or concerns with your Series X so far and Xbox as a whole?
I mean, honestly, when you sent this in the notes for this week, I'll be the optimist here. I was like blown away happy. I was like, are you kidding me? You opened up the whole internet to what you hate about your Xbox, and not one person mentioned the games, because that's what the console is there for. It is for the games and that experience. And everyone was like, no, that part is great. I have zero complaints, which I thought was incredible. I mean, we've already talked about the achievement thing. For me, it's not that big a deal for me personally. I know it is for you guys, and I want it fixed for you guys. Genuinely, I do, because I know it matters for you guys. I'm sure that's hopefully some debugging stuff, and I'm sure some of that stems from the fact that they're doing backwards compatibility. Plus, we're still in this weird like middle ground between last gen, new gen stuff, and I'm hoping they'll figure that out over time. The only one on here that was even kind of where I was like, yeah, that I'm worried a little bit about that is the SSD thing, because the proprietary systems, man, I just wish there was a better way. And I don't even mind paying for the SSD. I don't mind that it's $180 or even full price. Like when I need it, I'll pay for that when I need it there. But I just like the idea of like, can we do something with like USB-C or Thunderbolt or 3.0 or just something where like there's just more options than that one card? Because right now it's fine. And honestly, I think I like the Xbox system where you can delete the game. It saves obviously all your data, and you don't have to eat up your hard drive. But it would be nice, as games are going to continue to evolve, they're going to continue to get bigger, like that was kind of pre-built in. Other than that, I'm okay. And the DVR thing, like, yeah, I don't use that personally a whole lot, so it doesn't affect me. So I couldn't even tell you if mine works or not, because I really rarely ever say that or share stuff. I always appreciate when you guys send it to me, but I just don't do that. I do hope, I guess my struggle there is like people that do this professionally, like, I'm not saying that we're not professional, but like they have capture cards. That's like literally what they do, because they can't rely on the fail safe of any system, even PC. And so, I hope they fix it. It would be a cool bonus. But again, overall, the fact that when you opened up to the internet and said, I want you to complain to us, and no one mentioned the games, I think that's a pretty cool win. So
no,
I want to know what percentage of fans wrote in and said, bring back Connect.
There's like those Dance people. There's like 6 of them.
Jose, that's a really good point, and that's a fantastic thing. Well, you're right. I didn't even think about it. We have had nothing but great games for this first year, and it's been fun, and it's going to continue. So great point. As far as the expansion thing, I was thinking about this. I'm surprised you actually have a problem with it, Jose, because this goes more proprietary. This is like an Apple move where it's closed off and they're only offering one way to do it. And I thought you'd like that. It's simple. It does work. I know you've probably seen how you upgrade the PS5. It's like a big well, not a big hassle, but it's a little bit more complicated. You have to be selective. You have to get a certain speed. You have to have a heat sink. You have to make sure it's going to fit. You have to remove it. Like, it's kind of annoying. Whereas Xbox, you buy it and plug it in, and
you're
it's
right.
going to
But
work.
here's the difference, because I agree with you. And I actually do. You're right. Usually I like the built-in system. I like that the card is super simple. It works. It's guaranteed. It's fast. I mean, because that's the piece, and the fast piece is what you need so you can run games off the card. That's the biggest like choke point of the system. The difference with Apple is that usually you get to choose your size, right? So like, yes, it is locked in, but I could start with 2 terabytes versus like 512 or something like that, and you couldn't on Xbox. Everybody got the same.
Okay.
You know
Well, maybe they're going to add a 2 terabyte, but I thought you'd be a bigger fan of that, but you're right. Achievements, most people probably don't care. DVR, I disagree with you a little bit. And like, yes, I have a capture card, but I don't have to hook up my laptop to record stuff every time. It should be simple and it should work because it works on PlayStation. It works on the Switch. It needs to work for casual
It works on
players
Apple.
on the Xbox, whatever. Great. Anyway, all right.